Hi guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Yvonne Princess Shabango. If you are new here, you're welcome to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And voila, you're part of the graceful, the beautiful, and the wonderful family. We are back with another episode of Employment Wednesdays. And then today we are talking about the importance of benefits. And this is an unpopular opinion. I know some of you are going to cook me for this, but it is what it is, right? I believe that what's more important, so the topic today is your salary versus your benefits. I personally believe that what's more important is my benefits compared to the salary. I'll get to that. Hold on, briga, but first things first, right? This topic came to my mind when over the past week I had such a hectic week, and I was like, oh my god, maybe I should quit because it was just a lot on me, right? But because my mama didn't raise a quitter, so I didn't quit. Then I started looking at my options to say, if I had to quit, what are the benefits? What's going to happen if I resign? And then I realized I've got my pension fund, and it's previously known as, okay, I won't say previously because some companies still do provident funds and stuff, right? So I'm like, actually, I have that. Then I went into it. I saw a very large amount of money. I looked at it. I'm like, you know what? I could be set for like at least the next 6 months. I could pay myself my salary at least for the next 6 months and be left with some change, right? So I'm like, it's doable. But also I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to resign for that, right? Then I was like, actually, maybe I should have a conversation with people regarding their salary and their benefits. Many people are always quick to say, what do you have on offer? They just look at the number, the money, the salary, right? They look at the fact that, okay, you're offering me 50K, I'm happy, I'm sharp. But from that 50K, you have to ask yourself, I have maybe a bond to pay. I've got a car. Guys, I've seen Lunabadi Koloi. How are you surviving? Like, guys, if you own a car in South Africa, how are you surviving? I've even, like, not that I'm not interested in getting a car anymore, but I've just stopped because I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Also, for a person that works from home, I'm like, why am I buying a car for me to pay an installment at 10K, 8K when the car is probably going to be parked at least 75% of the time? So I'm like, oh, let me put it aside, right? But you've got a car installment, you've got a bond installment, you've got Wi-Fi, you've got, like, I want big items, and then you've got insurance, right? You realize that from that 50K, like, let's say already if you're earning 50K, you're probably like a professional, right? So it means you drive a good car, you stay in a very in a good area, and good areas usually mean more rent or more bond payment and stuff like that, right? You look at all of those things and you realize that you haven't paid for a medical aid. Medical aid food is expensive, guys, these days. Medical aid that has good benefits is expensive. I know, like, with my medical aid provider, like, for the best you have to pay like 4,800. So you can imagine that's already a lot, so you look at your medical aid, you look at your pension fund, you look at what's going to happen, what's going to happen to you if you resign, if you get retrenched or stuff like that. Then you realize that if you're just being given a salary without benefits, then it means that you need to make your own plans. You need to have a financial advisor that's going to help you pick the perfect provident fund or the perfect pension fund, or have a savings plan and all of that. And most of us are not really equipped to that extent to be able to say, okay, I'm going to have a financial advisor, I'm going to have somebody that's going to be able to educate me on those topics. So I thought about it. I'm like, no man, I don't care about my salary. Actually, you can give me 15,000 rent, ne? Give me the 15,000 rent, give me a housing allowance. Housing allowance is not very common in private companies, right? But should you work for the government, should you work, sorry guys, should you work for the government, right? Housing allowance is always a thing, right? But if you work for private companies, housing allowances are tricky. It's rare that you'd find that you'd get like discounts if you work for like maybe banks. I know some banks whereby if you're working for that department, they always they get discounts for like their home loans and stuff like that, right? But yeah, so I'm like, give me 15,000, give me medical aid, give me housing allowance, give me petrol allowance, and then give me a pension fund, or give me some form of savings to say, should I get retrenched And should I resign, I have something, I'm not just waiting or depending on UIF, guys. And also, it's always important that you make sure that your employer is contributing to UIF, because if he's not contributing, guys, you won't get anything. UIF is not like this miraculous fund whereby anyone can go claim. You only claim if you've been contributing. And in an ideal world, under normal circumstances, every employer is supposed to be contributing to that. But some people are able to dodge the bullet. And then when they fire their employees, you find that their employees come to us, oh my goodness, I thought I was contributing to UIF. And then you check their payslip, there's nothing that speaks to UIF. You check their contract, there's nothing that speaks to UIF. Then you realize that actually employer hasn't been doing so. Then employee is left to just job hunt without like some form of income or compensation or whatever the case may be. So it's very important that you make sure that your benefits are up to par. So today I'm basically here to say, guys, stop just looking at your salary. Don't just look at your salary and be quick to say this is it. I'm earning 100k, 50k. What are you supposed to pay for that's important out of that 50k? Like I said, I'd rather have my employer pay me 15,000 rand and have a good benefit package. Have a good retirement annuity, have a good pension fund. Like, guys, if you look at my payslip, there's a lot of pension fund, retirement annuity, what. And at first I was like, oh my God, I wish this money would come for me. Like I think over 10k goes to like benefit stuff and all of that. At some point I wish this money was coming to me, but I'm like, no, man, I'm happy with what they're giving me. At least I know that I'm secured should anything happen. So today I'm here to ask you a question. What do you think is important? Is it your salary or your benefits, or a bit of both? With me, if I was asked to choose, what do I want to be more beneficial to me, I would say benefits. It makes more sense, especially in the future. Your salary makes sense right now. You have your 50k homonati and all of these things. But should you get sick, can you afford 4,800 for medical aid every month? Maybe not. Should anything happen to you, the company goes into liquidation, are you able to withdraw your pension fund? So yeah, those are part of the options, right? And then before I go, I just wanted to let you know, guys, that if you've got a pension fund, be careful when you think of withdrawing your pension fund, right? Because if you're going to withdraw your pension fund, or if you're going to resign and then withdraw your pension fund, or withdraw it before time, you're going to pay tax. Like, you are going to pay tax. Imagine you've got your pension fund worth 200,000 and then now you're only gonna benefit like 150, 160, 70 because you decided to withdraw it before the actual time. I understand some people, they can't wait that long because they have things that they need to deal with. I remember this one story, one of my faves actually. She was narrating on YouTube how she got herself into debt, and because she got herself into debt, she got to a point where she had to withdraw her pension fund to clear some of the debt, and it wasn't as pleasing. But after that, she realized how it's important to have your pension fund. So if you're working for a company right now, if you're working for a company that doesn't give you benefits, guys, I think start applying for another job. Or if you can't start applying for another job, start having conversations with your HR, to say, what, I understand that you guys are giving me this and you think it's enough, but actually, I need medical aid. Medical aid is not compulsory, or even all of these benefits are not compulsory, but the fact that there's a company that's willing to offer you these benefits should actually keep you thinking or keep you on the go. There's another video that I did earlier that it's always important to be applying for opportunities, right? Even though we're comfortable here, but it's important to be applying for opportunities that can better us. So which is why I'm saying, don't just sit there and think your salary is enough and that's it. It's important that you have benefits like pension fund. One of the biggest advantages of pension fund is that when you resign or when they dismiss you, you are able to actually withdraw the money, which is, a lot of people don't advise that. And also the other disadvantage with that, it gets taxed, but at least you have something. If your company is contributing to UIF, should you get dismissed, at least you can claim from UIF. If your company has a savings pocket, I know some companies have some savings funds and stuff where they withdraw maybe 500 a month, 600 a month from your salary. If your company has that, when you get dismissed or resigned or you get fired or whatever the case may be, you're able to actually withdraw that money from your savings. So don't just be quick to run to say, Now I get paid 50,000. All I want is 50,000. No, when you get an employment offer, scrutinize it. What is in that 30,000 rand? What is in that 5,000 rand? What can I benefit? How? And guys, another thing, and I know they always say bonuses are discretionary, but guys, do not be afraid to discuss bonus. A bonus is very important because our lifestyles in December are not the same like the other months. It's important that you have a benefit, you have a bonus, so that you're able to do the things that you want to do for your family, because a lot of people spend money in December. Let's not run away from it. So when you look at your employment offer, be realistic about your real life circumstances, right? When I say real life circumstances, you look at things like bonuses. You look at things like, oh, they telling you that you will be required to work overtime. Have a conversation with them surrounding, okay, since it's a thing to work overtime, are there any form of incentives should I reach a certain target? Don't be afraid to have those conversations, because I'm here telling you, I believe you're worth more than just a salary that you get every 25 days or every 30 days. You're worth a lot more. And I think sometimes I think the overseas structure works. Every time I speak to like my relatives that are overseas, I'm always thinking like, yo, guys, you guys are lucky. They get paid every second week, and fine, it matches their lifestyle. But I feel like it's illogical to not have good benefits and wait for once a month salary. Like, it doesn't make sense to me that you would work so hard and all you will ever get is a salary. And I always heard when I have clients whereby this person has been working for a company for like 30 years or 40 years, and there's nothing. All they get is a goodbye. There's not even severance. It's important that you speak of service pay, and some people will tell you, and that's another thing, guys. Let me give you a tip before I go. Some people will tell you that they thought service pay is automatic, but service pay is not automatic. Service pay is according to the agreement you have with your employer. So if you see that it's not there, have a conversation with employer and say, hey, listen, I'm thinking for every 5 years, could you please give me 5,000 rand for staying in the company, for being loyal and faithful in the company? Negotiate that agreement for yourself, because if you don't, no one will. Right? It's important that you do that, because like, it really breaks my heart to hear a person say they've worked for a company for 20 years and they don't have service pay, and because they're resigning, there's no severance pay or anything like that, because you only get severance if you are getting retrenched, right? So it's very important that you have benefits. I can't stress this enough. Benefits are really important, guys. Like, don't let anyone lie to you. You can have your 100K salaries, but if you don't have benefits or you don't have a structure for yourself and for your future finances, you are going to have problems. If you're going to get paid 100K and you feel like it's more than enough, then have a conversation with the financial advisor. I know that like you can get financial advisors that are free, and they give you like basic advice. They help you set out funds for traveling, funds for education, funds for retirement, and all of these things. They help you set that up, right? So it's important that you're able to do that. And I know that most of us, we're not able to do that. And I'm learning to be financially disciplined, right? But I know for a fact that you can't okay, maybe you can trust me, right? But you can't give me 50K and not pay for my medical aid, and not have a pension fund or provident fund, and I don't have a financial advisor, and think I'll be able to do that all by myself. I don't think I'm yet that mature. And that is why you would hear even most big businessmen and business people tell you they're financial advisors for that, who take their monies and put them here and there, because sometimes these things require experts, because you can't do it yourself. And I love it when we have employers that try to meet us halfway. An employer that pays your medical aid, they've met you at some point. They've met you somewhere. An employer is willing to pay for your pension fund. Usually it's like a certain percentage depending on the agreement. So I think minimum percentage is 9%, if not 7%. I'm not sure. You guys can just read up on that. But there's a minimum percentage. Your employer can choose to pay more. And I realize my employer pays more here. I'm just like, So yeah, you can have that. It's important that you have benefits, right? And then what I wanted to say is, guys, when you see, and hear me, let me share the secret with you. When you see that your company is not doing well, when you see that the company, and a lot of companies right now, they're going into business rescue, they're getting liquidated. If you spot that as an employee, guys, please don't wait. Don't wait for liquidation. Wait for what? Just start searching for another job or making plans. And which is why having benefits would come in handy. Because if you're able to leave before the company gets liquidated or before business rescue proceedings happen, because also, yes, business rescue, they can save the company, right? But sometimes that it takes forever, and you are also there in limbo whereby nothing is happening, right? So it's very important that when you spot such a danger, you are ready to go. You take your benefits. What am I? Like, you take your benefits and you keep it moving, because that's another thing. When a company gets liquidated, ne? Employees are part of creditors, and they are important creditors. So it means that you will only get your money that they owe you, if they owe you anything, after everybody else is paid. You're not a priority creditor. So it's very important that you have your benefits, guys. And when you see that a company is no longer doing well and there are issues in between, you run quickly. Sometimes I know people say there are no jobs and stuff like that, but it's always best to start looking for a job whilst you're within a company. Guys, don't wait for people to fire you. Don't wait for people to dismiss you. Don't wait for things to be sour. Don't wait for fights between you and your managers and all of these things. You know, I love this lady so much. I love Amanda Dambuza so much. And she's one of the people that I observe or look up to, right? She said something so powerful. If you're young, or even if you're not young, 6 months is a very long time in a company unless you think you're going to settle and you're happy with it. But after 6 months, start searching for a job. Especially if you think you want to grow and stuff like that. If you feel happy and you feel good, that's fine. But 6 months is a very long time. Don't allow yourself to stay in environments until you get chased or it gets toxic, okay? Don't forget to be love and light, and don't forget to share this video with everybody else. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. And I am still praying for you. I hope you get that job that you desire. God bless you.